Okay guys, this is page 180 in your workbook. We're just going to do problems 1, 2, and 3 today, and then I've assigned 4 through 10 as homework next week. So at least you'll have these 3 worked out, and then you can look at them or go back and watch this video if you need to for help with problems 4 through 10. So let's take a look at problem 1. So if you remember from the previous sheet, first of all, this is a prism, because we have 2 identical bases, and that is this triangle down at the bottom and this triangle directly above it, right there. Those are the 2 parallel bases. And then notice, I did not point this out before, but every side is a rectangle in a prism, right? So you have the 2 parallel bases, which may or may not be rectangles. In this case, they're all triangles, but then all the sides are rectangles. All right, so we need to find the volume, and we're going to find the area of the base, which I'm going to call capital B, times the height of the prism. All right, so the area of the base, again, here we've got some information. One of the hardest things I think about these sheets is to figure out what measurements go with what side. So we've got this triangle right here. This side along here is 8, the hypotenuse is 10, and then this side right here is the same length as this side, so this is 6, right? So essentially what we have is a triangle that's 6, 8, 10, and it is a right triangle, and we know that because of the right angle marked down there. All right, so then we have to think, all right, well, how do we find the area of this, which is the base of our triangle, right? So the formula that we need is area equals 1/2 base times height, and again, I'm switching to lowercase to indicate that they're the base and the height of just this shape. Right, so this would be area equals 1/2 times 6 times 8. Right, half of 6 is 3, and 3 times 8 is 24. So the area of our base, this triangle, is 24. And then the height that we're talking about is this 5 right here. All right, so then our volume would be 5 times 24, which would be 120. So it would be 120 centimeters cubed. All right, for problem number 2. This one I want you to be careful on. You're going to see ones like this in problem 2, in problem 4, and in problem 10, where they don't put that triangular base like sitting down, you know, kind of on the table. There are 2 triangular bases, you can see them right here, but they're not lying down on the table like that so that you can see one is stacked on top of the other. They're actually kind of left, right, or side by side. But that is still the base because, again, those are the 2 parallel identical shapes right there. So this is one base, and then you can see the other one right behind it. And again, they've given us a right angle in this triangle. So I'm going to write volume is the area of the base times the height, and over here I'm going to draw what the base looks like, just so we get the measurements drawn accurately. Sorry, I hope this light doesn't make it too hard to see. All right, so here is 3, 4, and 5. So to find the area of this, we're going to do 1/2 base times height. Again, this is the base right here, the lowercase b. This is the height right here because we're talking about just this shape. So area equals 1/2 times 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and half of that is 6. So the area of our base is 6. And then the height of our pyramid is this right here, the 1. All right, so then we get volume equals 6, and we're going to say it's 6 inches cubed. Don't forget your units. Okay, last one that we're going to do on this sheet. Notice in this one the triangle that they give us. So here's the one triangle, here's the other triangle. They are parallel to each other and they are identical. Notice that this is not a right triangle because in order for us to get the altitude, they had to drop a perp from this vertex right here. That doesn't happen in a right triangle because this already is an altitude. Right, so let me just draw the base right over here. So this is 5.5. This is 11. This is 6, and this is 12. And I'm just getting these measurements from this picture. So here's our 5.5. Our long side of this, right here, is 11. The short side is this 6 that they give us up here, and this is the 12. Okay, not all of these are relevant to us, but we'll pick the ones that are important. Right, so again, formula is the area of the base times the height. Right, and this is the base, so let's take a look at it. Right, so the formula for finding the area of the base is 1/2 little b times little h. Again, this is the base of our triangle, right here, and this is the height of our triangle, right here. So area is going to be 1/2 times 12 times 5.5. Sorry, I'm running into this picture right here, 5.5. All right, I'm going to do the half of 12 first, which is 6. And then we've got times 5.5. All right, this is the, let's see, 6 times 5 would be 30. And then 6 times 1/2 would be 3, so this should be 33. All right, you can do that on your calculator if you don't believe me, or you can multiply it out by hand, but it should be 33. So then let's come back up here. The volume is the area of the base, which we just found to be 33, times the height of the prism, which in this case is 11. All right, so then we get volume equals 33 times 11 is 363. So our volume is 363 miles cubed. All right, so then you are later going to do problems 4 through 10. You'll show them to me next week. All right, let's take a look at the next page, which is 181. And again, we're just going to do 1 through 3. All right, so these are all pyramids. All right, they're not all triangular or rectangular or square. Actually, they're all rectangular, sorry. These are pyramids, not prisms. Again, the reason they're pyramids is because they come up to a single point at the top instead of having 2 parallel bases. All right, and if you remember, the formula for our volume was base times height, just like before, the area of the base times the height of the pyramid, but now there's that 1/3 out front. All right, so volume equals 1/3. So our base right here is this rectangle. Right, so how do we find the area of that rectangle? Should just be just length times width. So in this case, it's 7 times 8, or 56. So we're going to do 1/3 times 56 times the height of our pyramid, which is 9. Now, just to make this easier for myself, I'm going to choose to multiply the 1/3 and the 9 together first. So 1/3 of 9 is 3. And then times 56. So 3 times 56 should be 168. So we get 168 feet cubed. All right, I want you to try problem number 2. These are pretty easy because they're exactly the same. It's just different measurements for the height and the dimensions of the base. So pause for just a second, and I want you to do 2 and 3 on your own. Okay, for 2, again, formula is volume equals 1/3, the area of the base times the height of the pyramid. So this is 1/3. The area of the base is 63, and the height is 5. I'm going to choose to do these two together first. 1/3 of 63 is 21 times 5, and we get a volume of 105 centimeters cubed. And then same thing for this one. Volume equals 1/3 the area of the base times the height. The area of the base is 66 and the height is 11. Again, I'm choosing to do these two first. 1/3 of 66 is 22 times 11, and then we get 242 miles cubed. Okay, last sheet. Volume of a sphere. So if you remember, the volume of a sphere was 4/3 pi times r cubed. So in this case, just be careful, because in this case they didn't give us the radius, they gave us the diameter. So this is going to be volume equals 4/3 times pi times 12 cubed. All right, you're going to need your calculator for this one. I left mine in the other room. So hold on. My goodness, okay, 12 times 12 times 12. This is 1,728, so 4/3 times pi times 1,728. I'm going to divide that by 3 and get 576. All right, and then I'm going to multiply that by 4. So I get 2,304 times pi. Now, if it said leave your answer in as an exact answer, you would just say inches cubed here, and that would be your answer. But it says round it to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So we're going to say, we're going to use 3.14 for pi. So I end up getting volume equals 7,234.56 inches cubed. All right, pause for just a second, and I want you to do these two. Don't forget in this one that they don't give you the radius. Okay, so check these to make sure you did them correctly. This is 4/3 pi r cubed. Volume equals 4/3 pi times 4.6 cubed. Volume equals 4/3 pi times I get 97.336. We're going to multiply that by 4 and divide by 3, and I get volume equals 129.78 pi. And then I'm going to multiply by 3.14, and I get 407.51 centimeters cubed. All right, I'm afraid this is getting too long, so let me just, you go ahead and do this one. I'll put the answer in the on the My School assignment. Okay.